I'm Chef Dick. I asked my kids if the name of this show was cool. They said it was mid, so I hope that's good. I'm Chef Dick, and this is Cooked or Cap. And today we're settling beef. Literally. You've heard this everywhere. On YouTube, from your dad, from your uncle, from Melvin down the street who thinks he's a steak expert. Sear it hot first, it seals in the juices. But does it actually work? Or is that idea cooked or capped? We're gonna test that out today. 2 steaks, same cut, ribeyes. Basically the same weight and the same seasoning. Classic S&P. Salt and pepper for you non-cooks out there. So we're just going to go and get this on there liberally. You want to get all the edges too. Pat that in. We already pat these steaks pretty dry, so we got rid of as much moisture as we could on there. A lot of people like to rub the seasoning too. I think just patting it is good enough. All right, them babies are seasoned up. Steak A. We're gonna blast it with a hard sear right off the bat, then throw it in the oven. Steak B, we're not gonna sear. We're gonna just put it right in the oven, let it cook. So we're gonna have a really good control on that. No tricks, no chef voodoo, just heat, moisture, and a little science. As meat heats up, muscle fibers tighten. That squeezing pushes the moisture right out of the steak. A hot sear doesn't create a magic force field, it creates flavor, the Maillard reaction, which is delicious, but not waterproof. If searing actually sealed juice, we'd see steak A holding a lot more liquid than steak B. Spoiler alert, physics does not care about your childhood. It just cares about being right. As we waiting for this pan to heat up, we want it to get to around 400 to 500 degrees on that surface of that pan, okay? So, personally, 450 is perfect. So I have a pretty cool thermometer. It's got a little infrared thing right at the end. So right now we're not even close. We're at 165. Let's make sure this thing's on. Check, check. Mic 1 on. Yep, it's on. Science. I was watching a cooking video one time and they seared it and then cooked it in an open flame broiler. Pulled it out when they cut it. Well done. Just got roasted in the comments. You know, one of the funny things is I always make fun of people on the internet when they cook in a brand new pan. Look what we're using. Brand new pan. Hypocrite. I'm like,
how else are you going to cook in a brand new pan? It's got to be brand new.
Well, it's got to be a one time, right? Man, these 1500 BTU burners, what are they doing? This is taking forever. All right.
Where are you at?
307. But these are monster burners. 1500 BTU is the amount of cooking heat that comes off each burner.
What does BTU stand for?
British Thermal use it. Blah. British Thermal Unit, and that's kind of how much heat and power these put out, basically. All right, we're almost to 400. Man, you gotta get this pan piping hot, right? I don't ever wait that long on my home stove. All right, so we're pretty much there. We're pretty close. Take steak A, and we're gonna sear it. We're gonna use just a little bit of olive oil on here. Oh, she's rolling. Okay. That was too hot, Ben.
A few moments later.
So yeah, it doesn't take 6 minutes to heat up a pan with 15 to 18,000 BTU burner. So this little guy was off. Thermo works, thermo pen. It was reading 350 and I was like, man, that sure doesn't feel like 350. And that oil told me it wasn't even close at 350. Yeah, that was like 700, 800 degrees. So, go by feel sometimes. She feels good. So now let's try it. All right. See, that's a little better. As soon as that oil looks like it's going around pretty good, that's good. We're still just a little high since it's already smoking. That means the pan's about 400. We'll turn it down, hold it above, get to the temp we want, and then hit it, okay? I think we're there now. All right, so we're gonna throw this steak down. Here we go. All right, beautiful. Go ahead and push it down into it. Get that, because you want to get all the moisture out. You want to get all the little space out between the pan and the steak. You want every piece of that meat touching it. I gotta run and grab a tong. No running into the kitchen. Oh. Fortunately, but unfortunately, my kitchen is huge, so the tongs are about 40 feet away. All right, you always just kind of want to look under here, peek. They'll peek again. She's almost there, kind of move it around. I like to also render this side of the ribeye as well, just to kind of get a little bit more flavor, a little bit more of the Maillard reaction. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Beautiful. Get that flavor all over again. All right, flip it over. Look at that sear. That's damn near a perfect sear right there, my friends. Let it go for just a little bit, and then we're gonna be in business. Like I said, steak B, we're just gonna throw it in the oven, okay? So I'm gonna put it right here in the center of this one. Right here, we're gonna turn steak A off. It's gonna go in the oven. We got a 400-degree Garland gas convection oven right here. She's going in. Take steak B, put it in. We're gonna try to cook them both to about 130 degrees. This is also a ThermoWorks timer. Let's hope it works better than their thermometer did. The Maillard reaction is basically what turns a sad gray piece of meat into a holy crap. That smells amazing steak. When a steak hits high heat, the amino acids, the proteins, and the natural sugars on the surface start reacting. That happens right around 300 degrees and above. It creates hundreds of new flavor compounds. These compounds equal brown crust, deep savory flavor, that steakhouse smell you're used to. It's not caramelization, that's sugar only. This is protein and heat equals magic. How to make it happen on purpose? Pat the steaks dry, simple seasoning, salt, pepper, that's what we use. Use high heat, cast iron grill, a griddle, we use stainless steel, that's okay. Don't touch it, let it cook. That crust on a steak, that's the Maillard reaction. Protein and heat teaming up to make flavor. 10. All right, we're at 110. All right, 130. All right, we pulled the rat out at 130, which is mid-rare. We're gonna let that sit at 127, 128, so looking perfect. 129, 130 exactly. 124, so we'll do 30 seconds. All right, pulling this. This is steak B. And right there, we're at 131. Beautiful. So about a degree apart from each other. And we'll lay that there. All right. Man, first reaction, color. Definitely. You could see the difference in the color. I wonder what else that's gonna do. Probably a little bit more taste. Steak A is done resting. All right, let's start that timer for steak B. All right, looks like we're ready to cut into steak A and see what we got. So we cooked each steak up to 130 degrees. This one rested for exactly 5 minutes, and this one is on the clock for 5 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this and see what we're looking like. All right. Boom, cross section, right at medium. So we're right where we want to be. Perfect, beautiful. All right, so not much juice is coming out. That's yours, Ben. This is mine. This is a prime ribeye as well. This is a prime cut. So we went above choice.
Do that stretchy bit again.
There, it's stretchy. As you can see, the muscle
good.
fibers. All right, Ben, you want to try that? Here we go. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Oh, the back cap on it?
Juicy. Good, the taste is killer. Let's go with the ribeye cap. This is the best cut of meat on any steak in my opinion. It's got the most marbling. Oh man, it is so tender. Here you go, Ben. Tell me if you could just tell the difference between the eye and the cap. Way more flavor.
Oh my God.
Almost double. I can't imagine the fat content. It's probably like 140 grams per steak, which, geez, that's hardtack city right there. We got about 45 seconds on our non-seared steak. Then we'll talk about the difference and see if anything was noticeable. There she is, boom. All right, so let's get down here. We're gonna cut the eye of the ribeye just like we did on that one. We're gonna do a cross section. So, all right, and boom. All right, so honestly, they look pretty identical. One's definitely not juicier than the other. If you get a top pan, you can look at the juice. I mean, they're about the same, I'd say. Now, the only way we really know for sure is if we taste them. You ready, Ben? All right. Let me get a little guy here, little guy here. Yeah, the color's not there, most definitely. I wonder if that's gonna be some taste. So here's your piece, bud. Here's mine. It's juicy, but that one has so much more flavor. Like on the eye, it's just apparent. Tastes so much better. It's a better quality. It's a better taste, better mouthfeel. Let's try the ribeye cap. Let's see if there's any difference. As you can see, a little bit more fat on that ribeye cap, so it's definitely gonna have more flavor. This is mine. It's super juicy, but it's not as flavorful. Like if you go bite for bite. So before we give our thoughts on exactly what happened here and some scientific proof behind everything, let's go check the internet and see what they say. My dad taught me this, so it must be true. Respectfully, your dad has been known to microwave a steak here and there as well. Also, restaurants do it, so it seals in the juices. Restaurants do it because it tastes good, not because it's a juice vault. All right, so listen, both lost moisture. One just didn't magically trap it. They had about the same moisture each. The difference was flavor, whereas crust, not juice retention. So here's the truth. Does searing add flavor? Absolutely. That's cooked. We're cooking that myth. Does it lock in the juices? Nah, that idea is capped. But what does lock in the juices is resting your steak. Why resting a steak matters. Makes it juicier. When you cook a steak, the muscle fibers, they tighten up and they shove all the juices towards the center, like squeezing a sponge. If you cut it right off the heat, those juices have nowhere to go, so they spill all over the plate instead of staying in the meat. Letting the steaks rest gives the fibers time to relax. As they relax, the juices, they redistribute back throughout the steak, not just in the middle. What resting actually does, in plain English, hot steak equals juices panicking. Rested steak, juices simmer down, they calm in. How long to rest? We did 5 minutes, perfect. Big boys, 7 to 10. You're not cooling it off, you're just locking in the moisture. Resting lets the juices soak back into the steak instead of running out when you cut it. That's why a rested steak looks all juicy all the way through, not dry with a puddle on the plate. Do me a favor, drop down in the comments and tell us what you want us to do for that new cooking myth. Extra credit if your uncle swears by it. Get it on video. I'm Chef Dick. This is Cooked or Cap. See you next episode.